Hello everyone, and welcome to, well, this is something I have literally never tried before and I've only heard a little bit about. Today, I am going to be trying out Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. Now, I have a friend who is an absolute hardcore fan of this series. Well, if hardcore is the right term to use. I guess I should say he does know a lot about it. And I figured I was feeling like trying something new, so I decided why not? I'll hop in and I'll see how I do. Now, I would like to preface this by saying that on occasion, I have my moments of being observant and smart, and stuff like that. Sorry, I woke up a little bit ago, so my brain is still meh. And other times, I tend to be just flat out stupid. So, I'm gonna say this so that you can't say I didn't warn you. For those hoping I will be this absolute genius detective, don't get your hopes up. I tend to be a flat-out idiot on occasion. And I really don't want to be yelled at for it either, because I didn't exactly ask for this kind of intelligence. Please keep that in mind going forward. And if you have any problem with it, and if I get called out for it, well, let's just say I'll have a huge objection to what you're saying. Okay, I had to throw that in there. My god, that was so corny. Right then. Let's begin our trial, shall we? Court is now in session. And for those not in the know of why I said objection like that, 1, you haven't been on the internet, and 2, it'll make sense in a little bit, or a little while, depending. But a lot of you know exactly why I said that. Well, let's hop right in. The second half of this series is apparently coming out in January of 2024. So this should be interesting. So we have Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. We'll begin with Episode 1, The First Turnabout. Oh. Damn it! Why me? I can't get caught. Not like this! I gotta find someone to pin this on. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it. August 3rd, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Well, this started off strong. Boy, am I nervous. Right? Oh, sorry, that was female. Right? Oh, hi, Chief. I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder child right off the bat like this. It says a lot about you, and your client as well. Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case? Yes. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him out any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much. It's over! My life, everything, it's all over! Oh boy. Is that your client screaming over there? Yeah, it's him. Death! Despair! I'm gonna do it! I'm gonna die! It sounds like he wants to die. Yeah. Nick! Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell them I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die. What? What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. I'm finished. I can't live in a world without her. I can't. Oh, who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Oh, Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away? The person responsible for your girlfriend's death? The newspapers say it was you. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts. My best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. Oh, that's just mean. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That and I owe him one, which is why I took the case to clear his name. And that's just what I'm going to do. August 3rd, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 2. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, this is your first trial, is it not? Yes, Your Honor. I am a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Yes, Your Honor. Eyesight fading. Knees weak. Thighs sweaty. Arms spaghetti. Wait, arms spaghetti. Mom's spaghetti. Sorry, I woke up I woke up not too long ago, so my brain is a little. Yeah. The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Okay, it's like I said before, guys. I just get this feeling I'm gonna have to really think outside the box and be really observant. I can't consistently do so please don't kill me if I mess up a case. I still tried, I still put in the effort to attempt it. To me, that's what matters, just as much as getting the case right. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. Larry Butts. The defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name? I know this one. Glad I read the case report over the cover so many times. It's... Wait. Uh-oh. No way. I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank here. Phoenix, are you actually sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name? Oh, the victim. Of course I know the victim's name. Oh, shit. Just forgot. Temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim's name is listed in the court record. No one would believe I was an offense attorney if I didn't carry this. Time of death. Let's see. July 31st, between 4 and 5 p.m. Cause of death, loss of blood due to blood trauma. Her name was Cindy. Cinder block. Cindy Stone. The victim's name is Cindy Stone. Correct. Now tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was hit with a blunt object. She was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. You've answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. Well then. First, a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honor. As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was? It was like a little statue, or like a little sculpture. A bust? I think one would describe it. No, a bust is just head and shoulders. So I think it was just like a little idol. The murder weapon was the statue of the thinker. Wait, so this guy used a statue of the thinker to bash someone's brain in. Well, if that's not painfully ironic, I don't know what is. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim. I see. The court accepts it into evidence. It's rather heavy. So this guy would have needed to have a lot of muscle to really pick that thing up. How big was it anyway? How small? Right. Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Use the R button to check the court record frequently. A statue in the shape of the thinker. It's rather heavy. So, I'm gonna pay attention to that detail, because if Larry Butts can't even lift a dumbbell, that's definitely gonna be some very useful information. Chief Attorney at Fayco, my boss, and a very good defense attorney. Larry Butts, the defendant in this case. A likable guy who has been my friend since grade school. Cindy Stone, the victim in this case. A model. She lived in an apartment by herself. Okay. Winston Payne, the prosecutor for this case, lacks presence, generally bad at getting his points across. Okay. I'll have to pay close attention to that. Give me a second. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. The prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. Chief, what do I do now? Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Uh-oh. Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad. The little twitch on his face. You can tell he's absolutely terrified. Mr. Butts, Is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you? Hey, watch it, buddy! We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet. Cleopatra and Mark Anthony. Yeesh. Someone's definitely better, and I don't blame him. Didn't they all die? Oh, no. Oh, well, I think somebody hasn't... I think, Mr. Butts over here hasn't quite brushed up on his litter... I mean, he hasn't quite brushed up on literature enough? I wasn't dumped. She just wasn't taking my phone calls. Of seeing me, or seeing me. Ever. What's it to you anyway? Mr. Butts, what you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she had completely abandoned you, and was seeing other men. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder. And wouldn't one of them just so happen to be... I'm not gonna make any accusations, but I'm just saying, I think it might be understandable if that one of them was the very person who murdered her. What do you mean, one of them? Lies! All of it lies! I don't believe a word of it! Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. The victim apparently arrived home from Paris on 7:30, the day before the murder. Indeed, she appears to have returned the day before the murder. No way. The victim was a model, but did not have a large income. It appears that she had several sugar daddies. Daddies? Sure. Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Dude! We can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? Ooh. Oh, no. Oh, God, poor Larry. Right. I don't think you wanted to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I? I mean... So here's the thing, right? There's two ways this could go. If I wait to see what happens, he might end up saying something that would prove useful, but not exactly cause me to think that he's the murderer. If I stop him from answering, it would save him, but I might not get valuable pieces of information. So this is... Oh, this is tough. I need a moment to think on this. Jeez. Okay. This is like one of the turning points where, depending on my choice, things can either go right or go horribly, horribly wrong. Because you might instinctively think stopping him from answering would prevent anything from going wrong, but if I wait to see what happens, yes, there's a chance he may say something stupid, but that may also be something that I'm able to disprove. So, I'm kind of leaning on waiting to see what happens. Because yes, like I said, yes, he may run his mouth, but you never know what kind of information only he would know that he might blab. I have decided I'm going to wait and see what happens. Please don't crucify me if this turns out to be a mistake, because I am going into all of these blind. Might be better not to get involved in this one. Well, Mr. Butts? Dude, no way! That she-dog! I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, when I meet her in the afterlife, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Let's continue with the trial, shall we? I believe the accused's motive is clear to everyone. Yes, quite. Oh boy, this is so not looking good. Yeesh. I don't want to say that Larry is suicidal. I think he's more just intensely heartbroken. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Well, did you or did you not? Well, maybe I did, and maybe I didn't. Oh, he went. What do I do? I know. I'll send him a signal. Tell the truth. Yeah, I was there. I went. Order. Well, Mr. Butts? Chill. She wasn't home, man. So, like, I didn't see her. Your Honor, the defendant is lying. Lying? The prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying. Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness? The man who found the victim's body, just before making the gruesome discovery. He saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. So here's what I'm thinking. It is true that we did see the guy at the scene of the crime, but what I think happened, and of course, me saying this isn't really going to have any impact at the moment, but what I think happened is he was trying to escape being murdered because, well, if he witnessed it, he would want to escape alive, would he not? Yes, Your Honor. This is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Frank Sowett to the stand. Oh, it's him! Mr. Sowett, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is this correct? Oh yes, newspapers, yes. Mr. Sowett, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. The witness's account. I was going door to door, selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. He left the door half open behind him. Sounds to me like he was in a panic and just took off. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there. A woman, not moving. Dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. It doesn't look like there was much of a struggle in there, so this must have been quick and easy. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. The line was cut. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. Liar! The man who ran was, without a doubt, the defendant sitting right over there. Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout? Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sowett used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal. Electricity to Miss Stone's building was out from noon to 6 p.m. on the day of the crime. Now, Mr. Wright. Yes, yes, Your Honor. You may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination, Your Honor? Alright, Wright. This is it. The real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witnesses gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okay. Open the court record with the R button and point out contradictions in the testimony. I've already found my contradiction. Or his. Quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. That's a lie. Not sure how I'd prove that, though. You found the body at 1 p.m. You're sure? Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at sometime after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? Busted! Oh, that! This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time. After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Sowers, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.? Gee, that's a really good question. See, there was a video I saw once, 10 ways to tell if somebody is lying. Body movements, avoiding eye contact, repeating a question to buy time to think of an excuse, nervous sweats. Great job, right? Way to put them on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. Ain't that the truth? This feels good. See through one, and their whole story falls apart. Ain't that the truth? Wait, I remember now! Would you care to give your testimony again? The time of discovery. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Except for the fact that there was no power. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. I see. You heard a voice saying of the time on a taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Right. You know what to do. I've got this one. Hold it right there. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery, and this record proves it. You couldn't have heard a television or a video. Gah! Well... The defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Sowett? No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Quite. Wait, I remember now. Mr. Sowett, the court would prefer to hear accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That, and you seem rather distraught. My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Sowett. Let's hear your testimony once more, please. Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. You saw a clock. I guess that would explain it. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Gladly. I don't think so, Bob. Objection! Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock? What? You with your objections and your evidence? Just who do you think you are? Just answer the question, Mr. Sowett. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may. Yes, Mr. Payne? As the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies. I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with this testimony now? Yes. Yes, I do. Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand. And he said that he didn't go into the room. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly, a contradiction. Indeed, the witness knew it was a clock because he... So, if he knew so here's the thing. I want to say that yes, he did go into the apartment. And I highly doubt that, I doubt he knew Cindy that long. Oh yeah? Prove it! prove I went in there. I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Solid. The sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time. What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture. Baseless? Just look at the witness's face. Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day, I never. The clock. Oh. Shut up, shut up, shut up! I hate you! It was him, I tell you! I saw him! He killed her, and he should burn! Burn! Give him death! Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims. Mr. Wright, Your Honor, you claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is riding on this. I better think it through carefully. Your Honor, the sound Mr. Sawat heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear if you simply... Ooh. Okay, so here's the thing. Examining the clock's batteries. That would determine if the clock can make a sound in the first place. Try sounding the clock would just make us seem baseless. So, the neighbors, there were no mention of neighbors. So I want to say we would have to... I want to say examine the clock's batteries. Because, here's the thing. We would have to make sure that this thing could even make a sound in the first place. And not only would it prove whether or not this is a clock, well, it would also help to show that his claims of hearing the time would also be a lie. All you have to do is examine the batteries. The batteries are in the right way. The clock seems to be working fine. What exactly do you mean, Mr. Wright? That the clock was working fine. Yes, and... Oh. Well, okay. That's what I would have done. I would have made sure the batteries were in there in the first place. If I just assumed the batteries were in there, and in a case if they weren't, that would have made me look even worse, so checking would have been the right thing to do. Let's sound the clock now, here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully. I think it's 8:25. That certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker, after all. So, we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now? It's 11:25. Ah! As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Oh! Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Sawit heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sawit, try to talk your way out of this one. Oh, I love that! That is such a fucking plot twist. I love every bit of it. You forgot one thing! What's he talking about now? While it may seem like that clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing! How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case! How am I gonna prove that? Damn it! I was so close! Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately, this ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sawit. There's nothing I can do about it. Not so fast, Mr. Sawit. Oh, hold up. Mia, Chief, listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. But Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes, but that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason and you'll have your proof. Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Electricity to Miss Stone building was out from noon to 6 p.m. on the day of the crime. So let me think. Ironically, it was out from noon to 6 p.m. on the day of the crime. Alright, okay. It was out from noon to 6 p.m. He claimed to have found the body at 1 p.m. when the body was found at between 4 and 5. It's battery powered, which means it didn't need electricity, so the blackout is... Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Hold on a minute. Of course! The thinker, this was like a statue made in Paris. which means it would have to be not jet lag. It would have to be from a different time zone, a 3-hour different time zone. Wait, maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, right? Find it and let them have it. Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim? Of course, there is a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt. Ha! Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off. Let's see this evidence that proves why the clock was running slow. Apologies, I had to mute my mic because there's someone was because someone was vacuuming downstairs. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly and find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty. Yeah! And with that, this court is adjourned. Hold on. Well, that was certainly interesting. So, we'll just have to pick up on this next time, folks.